Welcome back to the SCIF. This is Matt. Other dude there is Stu. We are the Green Beret Life. We want to make an announcement. Troy, one of our listeners, he had to put his dog down today, and we want to extend our condolences to Troy. We all know what that's like, man. So, Troy, if you're listening, God bless your puppy. You'll be reunited one day. Beyond that, we have a pretty busy show tonight. Man, that is a bummer, man. You know what that's like. I know what that's like. That is like the worst fucking feeling in the world, man. So, but anyways, man, what are we gonna talk about tonight?
We've got a bit of an allotment here, different assortment of things. One of the big things going on is the summit in Alaska. I think they did it at Elmendorf, didn't they?
Yeah.
With Putin.
Yep.
That was pretty big, and the little subtle flyover by the B-2 and F-22s.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We've got one of Matt's favorite people that is funding tuition assistance for illegal aliens while complaining that they don't have the money for Medicaid. So we see where the priorities are there.
In Illinois. Yeah.
Yeah. Got Kathy Hochul that's going around pardoning convicted criminals and killers in order to try and block their deportation. So again, we see where the priorities lie. It's
desperation. If that doesn't tell you that these illegals are so important to them in order to stay in power. And apparently the New York Times came out and basically said this, that we got to get rid of the Constitution in order for the Democrats to ever retain power. Right?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? They're saying the quiet part out loud.
Yep. So, yeah, if that doesn't tell you, what else we got? What else we got, Stu?
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, my mic for some reason told me it was muted.
Yeah.
So we've got Hochul. We've got the mayor of LA that is claiming that it is racist to fight crime in DC.
Oh, okay.
She's telling us something without telling us something, I think. But I'm pretty dense at times.
Yeah. I'll back you up. You are pretty dense at times, but
I am.
Go ahead.
We've got it looks like they're finally starting to do whatever needs to be done to get a new Fed chair in place, and hopefully we can start getting the work done that needs to be done to get this country moving.
I would prefer no Fed chair at all and no Fed.
That is true. That would be optimal. Mm-hmm. That would indeed be the optimal thing.
Well, he's run interference on this economy, I think, long enough. I think everybody sees it now. It's obvious what he's trying to do. And it's not as obvious as who he's trying to do it for, I think, for the general public. For most of the people who listen to this show, I think it's obvious. But
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, guys, I'm in a rental car today, and I'm trying to keep this freaking phone cool so we don't have the issues. So if you see the thing bouncing in and out, that's why I keep on dicking around with it.
Matt can't keep his hands to himself.
No.
And I'm sure everybody's seen this because this has been blowing up the past 3 days or so. Is the illegal alien that was given a CDL out of California that's responsible for the deaths of 3 people on the Florida Turnpike.
He was a Sikh. He was a Sikh, Stu, and I saw something that was interesting on this. 1/3 of all Sikhs in this country are fucking truck drivers. How can that possibly be?
Really?
They're destroying. Yep, they're destroying an industry, dude. That's what they're doing.
Wow.
How could an illegal be given a CDL. So the state of California needs to have their ass sued, because now you've got an American family dead. The video, this idiot goes to turn around with a semi and block the whole freaking road in a access road for emergency vehicles.
Yeah, the ones when you're going down the turnpike and you've got the barrier there, then there'll be a break in it with, like, for emergency vehicles to turn around. That's what it's for. He's trying to turn around an 18-wheeler on the turnpike. It's like, but my thing, like we had talked before, Matt, what all do you have to take to the DMV just to get your regular license?
Well, dude, they're not even, I saw a bunch. There's a channel that I watch every once in a while called Mother Trucker, right? And he's all about trucking issues and shit like that. Apparently, they're not even getting training or education. Apparently, if they say they're a truck driver back in their home, which is all bullshit, right? India, right? They're pretty much just given these allegedly. I don't know if that's 100%, but that's what it sounds like. So they're putting people on the road of vehicles that can weigh up to 65,000 pounds, and they don't give a shit about America. They don't give a shit about Americans. If you don't know this by now, you should. It would be very interesting to see how many accidents these illegal truckers have been in over the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, right? And see how many are attributed to California.
Well, here we go, Matt. I just did a quick search just to get a license, just to drive a Ford Taurus. You have to have documentation proving your identity, a social security number, and 2 proofs of residency. And for a proof of identity, it must be a certified birth certificate, a passport, a certificate of citizenship, certificate of naturalization, or a green card. So in other words, you have to have documentation that you are here legally. Now, for the CDL, you must hold the valid license, which had all the other requirements, pass both a written and a skills test. You'll also need to meet medical requirements, demonstrate English language proficiency, and potentially undergo training depending on the type of CDL and endorsements. So they're getting around all of this verification process by saying, yeah, I did that shit back home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's this is something that's really jacked up. We got a couple other stories that play into this too that we may get to, we may not to get to, but apparently a town in Maine has been hiring illegals for police officers, and they're saying, oh, well, he passed E-Verify. So don't tell me E-Verify wasn't manipulated with under the Biden administration, right? And there's just so many things behind this story. They're giving illegals sworn police officer positions where they're carrying a firearm. Illegals, folks. Illegals. So apparently
Freedom,
this
Matt,
guy was...
Freedom just posted, he said the truck driver that killed the 3 people failed an English language assessment, only getting 2 out of 12 answers right, and identifying only 1 out of 4 highway traffic signs.
How the hell could he even read? This is, I tell you what, Gavin Newsom needs to have his ass sued.
Well, I don't know what's more concerning, Matt, that he only had to identify 4 traffic signs.
That's insane.
I had to do more than that when I got my license at 16, 30 years ago.
Dude, you had to do a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And you had to go and drive and parallel park and all of that bullshit with some dipshit.
One out of 4 traffic signs.
Yeah.
Wow. But he said California and Washington issued him a CDL.
That's insane.
So somewhere
they need to be sued.
Yes.
There needs to be some liability on these states. There has to be. There has to be. So the federal government needs to go and sue them on behalf of the families.
Yeah, and, whoever administered that exam and gave him the go-ahead should face charges. They're directly responsible.
Yeah. And well, here's another story that plays into this. Housing and Urban Development, which I guess handles all the welfare stuff. Trump made a rule that you're going to have to speak English to get any benefits from. They had 200 different language uh, uh, facilities in order to help people. So that means they had to hire linguists with 200 different language capabilities in order to give out welfare benefits. Can you believe that shit?
Well, we talk about this all the time in relation to the rest of the world. Is just name for me one other country. Like you and I have both traveled. We've both been overseas in different places. But I mean, any other country on the face of the planet that I can illegally enter and demand that they give me stuff, and have their justice system, stymie every effort by the government to remove me because I'm not there legally. It boggles the mind, and people are like, we're racist and we're whatever. It's like, no, a country is not a country without borders. It just isn't.
Do you want to hear some bullshit? So, like in Minneapolis, okay, so they're bringing, like, you have all these Somali immigrants. They're able to bring their family members over.
Chain migration.
Like parents and their grandparents. They bring them over and they go on Social Security. And half of them are all sick and elderly. And guess what? So now they're going to get services like in-home health and shit like that. And then because they'll need a translator. So you got to get a translator out there in order to translate for them. And then they need a caregiver. So here's the scam. They get to hire one of their family members to get paid to be a caregiver for this person we brought in our country that has no business being in our country. This is how dysfunctional we are.
It is, wow.
It's insane. It's insane. So
that you can't make this stuff up. You just can't.
No, it's absolutely insane. So where do you want to get started on? We are on YouTube, Rumble, and Odysee tonight.
Yes, yes, we are.
Well, we're going to push it all the way, I guess, again on YouTube, huh?
Well, I mean,
stay on YouTube. We might
as well.
The last two times.
Yeah, the last 2 or 3 shows have been on all 3, so why not?
Okay.
Why not? Give it a whirl, see what happens.
You pick the next story.
Well, we'll talk about one of your favorite guys. We'll bring him
Pritzker,
up.
Obviously.
Pritzker. Yeah. So basically, in the big beautiful bill, one of the things is cuts to Medicaid payments to states, forcing states to take on more of the role. Which it's always the thing with these programs is they can be realigned at any time. And these states just expect this money to be a continuous fountain of money, and that doesn't work that way. But basically Pritzker's come out saying, just poor mouthing about Medicaid. We can't afford these cuts. There's no way we can make up this shortfall. It's just not possible. But I'm going to pass this law that gives financial aid to illegal immigrants.
Yeah, so while everybody else is out there accruing hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and they're encouraged to do this for schooling, he's giving financial aid to illegal immigrants. There's more education and credit card debt. I take this back. There's more. I believe we might need to check this stat out. But I believe there is more student loan debt than there is credit card debt out there. And that's insane if that's the case. So we need to check that stat out and go. But that's absolutely insane. And we're going to be more and more. All of these states did this, free in-state tuition to illegals, right? And here's my question. Okay. You have all of these third worlders coming to this country, and they're getting these college degrees, as many as they want, right? And how does somebody with like a second or third grade education at best get all of these college degrees? Tell me how that happens.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a little investigation into what's going on with this.
Honestly, some of these schools are probably nothing but degree mills. As long as they're paid, they'll kick out whatever.
Well, I'm talking, dude, we had third worlders that were in Minnesota that would brag about all the degrees they had from schools like McAllister and the University of Minnesota. Look up what it costs to go to McAllister. Okay.
Well, here we go, Matt. Student loan debt is $8.81 trillion held by approximately 42.5 million Americans. Total credit card debt is 1.2 trillion. So there's 0.6 trillion more student loan debt.
Yeah, I knew I'd heard that somewhere. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Hey, folks, if you got a kid that is wondering what he's going to do in life and is not quite sure, and he doesn't want to get into the hard sciences or something that you need to get a degree for, I would strongly encourage them to look at trades. They're not going to accrue all of this debt. They're going to make more money. They're going to be happier overall, and they're going to be able to work wherever the hell they want. Learn a frickin' trade. And that's what this country needs anyways. We don't need any more consultants.
That's well, everything has turned into, I mean, yes, there are some jobs that you need a college education for. You need that higher level education, doctors, attorneys, engineers, some of that. But there's so many things that it's been offloaded from the industry to train people to, we'll make them pay for a 4-year degree. But the thing is, you're not learning how that industry or how that employer wants things done. So you're still being trained. It's not getting rid of anything. The employer's still, taking on that task. But, but you go looking at jobs, everything, you want to work, drive through at McDonald's, minimum 2-year degree. It's just bloat and inflation of degrees that serve no purpose.
They're indoctrination campuses where I'm convinced, and they take care of each other because these professors get paid. You're starting to see this with all the bullshit going on with Harvard and Columbia and all of this public money that they get when they have these billions of dollars in endowments and everything else. It's a grift. And I'm convinced it's to get these students in front of radicalized professors that will then radicalize the students. That's what's going on in these universities. When this country really needs plumbers, electricians, machinists, linesmen. We need all of these. We're hiring third worlders. And I can speak, when I was hospitalized a few years ago, we were hiring third worlders as RNs. Don't ask me, because I had to explain what to do on some of the things that they were trying to do to me, right? And I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. And these are supposed to be RNs. An RN is a highly trained nurse that makes a lot of money. Why are we hiring third worlders for RNs? Those are jobs that Americans should have. And you want somebody that knows what the hell they're doing and that can think on their feet as an RN.
Yeah.
Not saying that somebody who comes here and tries real hard legally, they can't do that. Of course they can. But we're hiring people in all of these professions that are unqualified, like you're seeing with this truck driver right now. Because I'm telling you, I had an experience. I couldn't believe this girl was an RN. I could not freaking believe it. So when I'm telling her, hey, you got to do it this way, and she's the nurse, there's a freaking problem.
Yeah.
So, it's, I think we're starting to cop onto this, but it's also real funny. So we're going to bring third worlders here and take jobs that Americans, truck drivers make a lot of money. Why are we putting illegal aliens in truck driver positions, driving down the wages and pinching out Americans that should be having those jobs?
Well, I
This is
think
insane.
you hit the nail right on the head, Matt. That it just like with these H-1B visas and everything else, some of these industries have found out, you know what? I can hire this Sikh guy and pay him $30,000 a year, and he'll be,
Yeah.
grateful, and kiss my ass every day of the week. Or I've got this other guy here that I need to pay 80 grand a year, and he's not going to take any of my BS.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's bullshit. When you hear jobs that Americans won't do, you ought to be dubious. That is a tagline. That is a
yeah.
propaganda point being pushed on you by the propagandist Marxist media. That's exactly what that is. And they're getting that from somewhere else. So,
Well, I mean, one of the
use your
things
head on that.
that they should really do is these places that are employing these illegal immigrants, there should be a very real threat of losing your business, of going to jail for the people
There
that
used to
own
be.
these businesses. That's
There
your
used to be,
responsibility.
Stu.
Yeah.
There used to be. We got to get back to that because we're destroying the American worker. You're destroying the American middle class by doing this. That's what we're doing. We're taking jobs and we're destroying the wage potential of those jobs that middle class Americans could make a living on.
Yeah.
This, I mean, dude, the midterms are coming up already. And I know nobody wants to hear about this bullshit. But we have got to kick their ass in the midterms. We have to. We got to purge a bunch of these frickin' rhinos too.
And the people that we put in have got to get off of their ass and codify what Trump has been doing. Get rid of these executive orders, codify them in the law, make them
correct. Permanent.
It's amazing how anything that a Republican president does by executive order can just be undone. But if a Democrat put something, look at these DACA recipients. We still have not been able to get rid of that. That Obama did by executive order is still causing issues. Courts have come out saying no, it needs to be turned out through law. What? It wasn't instituted via the legislature. Why does the legislature have to remove it? Because it's their pet project.
We need to get these illegals the hell out of our country. Period. Amen. They need to go.
Yeah.
They can apply to come back legally if they leave on their own. If we have to throw their ass out, never to return. Period. Amen. And then we've got to, while we have the chance, put a system that's so robust it just can't easily be defeated, which is what they did in 2020. Right?
Well,
we cannot ever allow this again. Ever. Or
there should all of these mail-in ballots that should be restricted to 3 classes of people. You've got deployed military being one. You've got people that request it that are traveling and aren't going to be home, and one other maybe. But this just I don't feel like go. No, if you.
Well, you saw the latest in Michigan, in Hamtramck, a big Muslim community that actually supported Trump, believe it or not. But they caught one of the politicians there stuffing ballot boxes in this most recent election. They caught him stuffing the ballot box with mail-in ballots. Right?
Say it isn't so, Matt.
Oh yeah. So the whole scam with the mail-in ballots. Trump is doing an executive order, but that's got to be, like Stu said, that has to be run through Congress and the Senate, and that law has to be created where no machines, no mail-in ballots. Those mail-in ballots are rife, as we all know, and that's why they did them, rife with fraud.
Well, the one thing that is insane, as many people as there are in the state of Florida, they have all of their numbers in within 3 or 4 hours after the catastrophe they had with Gore. They got their business sorted. They've got all this stuff in a matter of hours. Then you've got places like Arizona that are a week later still counting.
No, dude. They were a month later in
Yeah.
California and Arizona. They were still counting.
Yeah.
This is
it's
bullshit.
And Florida's come out saying, hey, we'll show you guys what we did. We'll help you guys get this. They don't want it. The longer it goes on, the more opportunity that there is for shenanigans.
Well, you said that military should have absentee ballots. That's the big scam, that those things would get lost and just not counted because they wouldn't be here in time in liberal states where there were close elections before. They used to manipulate that shit.
Yeah.
There should be a different way for military to get their shit in. You know what I mean? Where they can't manipulate it and say, oh, it's not here in time. That used to happen all the time back in the day. All the time.
There should be something, and I'm sure there could be, but I was saying, if you're going to have a reason for it, that is one. And I can't think of more than...
There could be an encrypted database that there's a key, and that thing goes in for each, post where these people are at. That key is carried via the military to a National Guard facility where their votes are injected where they should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Boom. So that's not going over the internet or anything else. It is boom. It's in an encrypted database and a key.
Something just by courier. If we have ComSec couriers that are entrusted to carry, to physically transport TS material, I think we can figure out how to transport an encrypted, drive.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
To carry on, we've got some more here. Kathy Hochul is pardoning criminals to help block their deportations.
Hey, Stu, now, wasn't this freaking bitch wasn't she an actress before?
I'm not sure what she would have acted in besides Scary Movie, but
no, I thought she was in, what was that, the remake of The Wizard of Oz? She had a fucking broom in between.
Had a house fall on her.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
But what she's done, that we've got these people that came here illegally, committed crimes, and it looks like with the ones that she's pardoned, they have served whatever jail sentence there was. They were not deported. And now because ICE is, hey, if you're a convicted criminal, you're here illegally, it's time for you to go. To prevent these people from being deported, she's trying to pardon them of their crimes that they had committed. Up to, one of them was murder. What was the one? He killed somebody outside of a pool hall.
She's pardoning murderers. That's great. There needs to be some legislation passed where people are doing such egregious shit they can be sued. You can sue her. They want to do this to cops, right? Get rid of their immunity, right? Which would completely destroy policing. That's why they wanted to do it, right? But there should be a stripping away if something is so egregious as like this right here. Or what Gavin Newsom did out in California with these CDL licenses, that you can sue these individuals personally. And I guarantee you this bullshit would stop. I guarantee you it would.
Yeah. Well, and that's like we were saying, as much as we say that these guys, that whoever was involved in giving this guy his CDL that was involved in this accident, they'll be like, no, they were acting in good faith. You can't do anything. They're immune. I'm like,
giving somebody giving an illegal a CDL to basically drive around a 65,000 pound, potential weapon of death, right? Without demonstrating the skills, showing that they know how to manipulate that. So they break the law and then they're given a job. That is freaking great. This is so beyond the pale. That asshole out in California, and all of those assholes need to be sued. Period.
Well, they're not just breaking the law and then being given a job. They're breaking a law, demonstrating their inability to meet the requirements of that job, and then being given the job.
Mm-hmm.
It just
it's unbelievable.
But this is the one, because we've been talking about it this whole time. This is the story here, where he was literally trying to make a U-turn on the interstate through one of the emergency turnarounds for first responders, ambulances, fire trucks, police officers. He's trying to turn an 18-wheeler. And again, you guys have seen these going down the interstate. These aren't wide. You know, they're pretty narrow sections where the guardrail ends and guardrail begins for these emergency turnarounds. So he is stopping an 18-wheeler on the interstate, turning it to get it through this narrow gap, completely blocking 3 lanes. I think it's at least 3 lanes of traffic on here, and then pulling into the other lane where he's going to be blocking all of that traffic as well. It's like in no universe is this a good idea.
Well, you can see the video. There's onboard camera from this.
Yeah.
From the truck. Yeah.
Yep.
You can see the minivan goes right underneath. It's unreal. They ought to get a list right now and find out exactly who all of these truck drivers are. Go and get them. They're illegal. They get their ass booted out of this country right now. So, and whoever hired them,
it's like
hired them, they need to pay a price too. Hiring illegals. Well, they had their CDL. Yeah, but they're illegals.
Well, Matt, so, it just blows my mind. Go to the next exit.
Yeah.
At the most.
That's not how they do that in the third world, dude.
No.
They just stop right there and spin around.
Yes. And that right there is where the I did that shit back home. Trust me, bro. That's what that gets you whenever they circumvent the actual accreditation process of verifying that person's ability to perform the job and all the functions and decision making and logic choices that go into doing that job effectively and safely. No, we're just going to circumvent all that and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Mm-hmm. And make no mistake about it. They want this shit to happen. They don't give a shit if they're endangering people that are on the roads. Gavin Newsom gets up there and acts like he cares. Remember, this is Nancy Pelosi's nephew that you're talking about here. Gets up there and pretends that he cares, and he says the right things, and he dresses nice and da-da-da. He is a piece of shit, an absolute piece of shit. And he is there to do one thing, and that's destroy his state and do what he can to destroy the country. And his next goal is to be president. This guy should be nowhere near national office. Nowhere near it.
Here's a little bit of reporting on this guy. He was previously processed for deportation, but he was able to stay that deportation after claiming he feared being sent back to his home country of India.
What's going to happen to him in India? Get out of here.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. There's no more details yet as to what his fear was, but it's just.
Yeah,
it says
he was fearful. These are the coin terms where the liberal judge says, "Oh, he said he was fearful." He doesn't have to prove anything. He just
you remember all of those,
Matt? You remember
the migrant caravans and the booklets they found. They had people that they sent people to these countries in South America to organize these convoys.
we were paying for it with taxpayer money through
Yes.
these NGOs. That's what was doing this.
And they were
organizing transportation and pretending like these caravans were walking up here. They were
Yeah,
organizing so they were walking up here and they were all fat as shit. Oh, okay, right.
And they're walking from South America,
Yeah,
you know, starting in Colombia, all the way up through Mexico. Oh, and they're coming and they're clean, like you said, they're fat as hell, cell phones, you know,
carrying babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just they found pamphlets where they were telling them, when you get here, this is what you say. These are the words that you use.
Here's the lawyers you hire.
Yes.
Right? All of this paid for by the NGO.
USAID.
Taxpayer. Yep. Taxpayer money. We were funding our own demise.
But you will say there's one thing that's under Trump. Where are the migrant caravans that were under Biden?
Yeah, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
I can't figure it out.
That these late night talk shows that everybody scratch their head, they don't have viewers. They're losing money. How do they stay on year after year? USAID goes away, and now these shows are dropping like flies.
Sorry, Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. The shows are dropping like flies. And Jimmy Kimmel, did you see that he said he has Italian citizenship?
Okay, bye.
This? Yeah, he went and got Italians. Why are these people, Tom Hanks getting Greek citizenship, you know?
Well, Tom Hanks has always been super lefty, and of course, Trump's destroying America.
But but think, there's some shit that they're afraid is going to come out, and you're going to start seeing more and more of this shit coming out.
That could be.
We're talking Epstein stuff now. Okay,
Epstein or Diddy?
Some Norwegian prince is going to get. We don't even know all that was revealed through Ghislaine Maxwell, right?
Yeah.
But that was all recorded. We'd have believe me, I think this shit's going to start dropping like a bomb in a little while. And closer to the midterms.
And there have been people that were talking about, well, you know, maybe they can't release it because it'll cause too much upheaval. It'll cause too much. And this is Lynn.
I was in that camp for a little bit. That maybe they didn't want to do it.
My point of view on it is, if the continuation of what we have is built on the fact that people that can do this to children be allowed to do it and be celebrated, we don't deserve it. It should burn to the fucking ground, and we start over.
I think we have a clear understanding of what happened with this, because you have Adam Schiff pleading for the Epstein files to be released. So I think we have a good understanding that while under the Biden administration, the Epstein files were all fucked with. You know, they're finding these burn bags all over the place. So it's funny because they want those files released, yet they don't want the grand jury testimony released.
Yeah.
So when they're trying to release all of these Obama judges are blocking that stuff left, right, and center. And now they're shitting their pants because Ghislaine Maxwell spoke. Holy shit.
And that's the thing. The Democrats, they're talking about they want the Epstein files released, right? Who was the president for the past 4 years?
Exactly.
You know, they could have released them at any time, but
while they were manipulating. You think the people that were in charge, that were going to be identified in these Epstein files, we're going to allow these proper Epstein files to be turned over to the Trump administration? Hell no. So
those files were reviewed and purged and edited. Oh man, yeah. 4 years ago. I mean, from the time they got them, they were weeding through those things.
SCIFs in the FBI buildings. This is why they're changing buildings too. They're finding all sorts of shit, burn bags, everything. It's what a mess. What an absolute.
Hey, top men, man. Mess. Top men.
Yeah.
Top men on
We have any comments we need to get to?
I'm not sure. What is an ELP test in relation to that truck driver?
I don't know. Because
Freedom said authorities in New Mexico also failed to issue ELP tests when Singh was stopped there for speeding.
Oh, really?
And he also said, he said Trump wants the wall painted black to make it too hot to climb, according to Christy Nome.
Yeah. That would be actually brilliant.
That would be
remember they were
funny.
talking about, Trump was saying, well, why don't, if you want solar panels, why don't we make the wall of solar panels? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then
Yep.
it's going to be guarded. Anybody dicks with those solar panels, puts a ladder up on them or tries to blow a hole through them, you can bet your ass whoever is paying for those solar panels and getting the energy from them to sell.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea, actually.
Yeah. There you go. Offload the cost and the security to the private sector. They'll do a better job of it anyway.
Correct. And then you have a south-facing wall in the Southwest with no obstructions. That's 2,000 miles long. Talk about a solar field. Holy shit. Right?
All right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Let's move on with the comments.
Oh, here's what he said. They failed to issue him an English language proficiency test.
Oh, ELP, English.
And I thought, because I'm thinking, the ESL, English and second language. That's what I'm like, but I didn't. Okay, thank you, Freedom. Learn something new every day.
Yeah.
One of the last stories is the one you were kind of talking about here with that Maine police officer. You want to expand on that?
Oh, yeah. So a police officer in Maine was picked up by ICE for deportation, right? And then they're like, how the hell was he a police officer and here from Jamaica illegally, right? Well, the police department, and I have a picture, they've got another stunning and brave police chief. Isn't it funny, all of these things coming up with stunning and brave police chiefs? Do you have the picture of her? There she is. This is our stunning and brave chief here. Probably the top cop, from the moment she hit the ground running. A regular Cagney and Lacey, right? So,
yes, sir.
So they're defending themselves, saying, well, he was hired and we ran him through E-Verify. So E-Verify under the Biden administration. Imagine how jacked up that was, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it was
like straight up
ship shape and
it's bullshit. This is a talking point to get the rubes and the public to think, oh, well, that's not her fault if she ran him through E-Verify. How did this guy get through all of his training? How did he get through skills? How did he get through all of this as an illegal alien, where you have to produce real identification, right?
Yeah.
So he was made a sworn police officer carrying a firearm, and he was there to enforce the law on legal American citizens. Now, they're doing this in these left-wing cities, and in Massachusetts, allegedly, and some other cities, they're hiring it, and in California, hiring illegals for police officers. This is so beyond the pale. One of these things that I said have gone so far that you should be able to sue the son of a bitch who allowed this, Gavin Newsom, or whoever else in these
Where
states.
was it, Matt? A couple of years ago, I think it was a Somali police officer shot and killed that I think she was Australian.
Yes, she was an Australian. It's funny you brought that up because I was telling somebody about this the other night. Yeah.
Yep.
Straight up shot. And it was a Somali. It was like the first one they put through the police academy. And then it turns out that he never passed anything and was pushed through, failed everything. And then it turns out that he had domestic violence issues in his past towards women. This guy shot the complainant talking to his partner in the driver's seat, and he's in the passenger seat, and he withdrew his gun, seat belted in, from a level 3 holster. He said he was surprised by her, right?
Yeah.
And shot through his partner, between the steering wheel and his partner, and killed an innocent woman.
Yeah.
Look that story up, right? And then this guy's already out of jail. He went to jail for like a very short period of time. It is absolutely,
that's insane.
The city needs to be sued for I think they did settle with the family, but you need to go after Jacob Fry and this Janine Hartu, who was a disaster police chief. This is a woman who sued her and her partner, female partner in more ways than one, right? Sued the police department for discrimination, and then they made her chief, right? There was some more in between that, but yeah. The Minneapolis Police Department has been absolutely destroyed. Minneapolis has been absolutely destroyed.
It's it's well on its way there. It is full speed ahead.
Oh yeah, and they're getting ready to elect a Somali mayor. And if you look into how they did the primary and got rid of Jacob Fry for this Somali, right?
Right.
It doesn't fail. It doesn't. I encourage anybody out there to go look that whole deal up. I don't want to get into it.
It doesn't surprise, huh?
Yeah, no, it does not surprise. And the whole state is being ruined. The flag is a Somali flag. They got rid of the Minnesota state flag.
They did do that. I remember.
Bent over and just given that beautiful state away. It makes me physically ill, dude, because Minnesota was always a liberal state, but it was absolutely beautiful. And it was a little piece of Americana, and it's destroyed. It is absolutely destroyed. So this is what they're doing in Maine. Here they're hiring illegals and then saying, well, we've pushed them through E-Verify. That is so weak sauce, and people will buy it. This chief needs to have her ass fired right now. But once more, putting everybody there in, and you're going to find out. I would be very interested to see what his training was. I would be very, very interested to see what his training level was.
All right.
Because I have a feeling.
I don't know if you can see your screen or not. This is the Somali flag, blue background with a white star.
Yeah.
This is the Minnesota flag they changed it to.
Now go back to the Somali flag thing again. What's that one in the middle on the bottom?
Flag of Kamato state of Somalia.
Yeah, it was. So they were saying it was a state of Somalia that they really emulated this flag from.
Well, I mean, they did. It's the same blue.
Yeah.
The same triangle. I mean, that's.
Yeah. Look at this. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. This was Tim Walz, by the way. This was Tim Walz.
Oh, yeah.
What a freaking disgrace. Dude, it turns my stomach. It absolutely turns my stomach. So, and what turns my stomach more is you've got a lot of these suburban wealthy females that are voting for this shit in Minnesota. And boy,
because it doesn't affect them, Matt.
Yeah, well, it will affect them. That's just coming in a few years.
And you know what? That might be what it takes.
Yeah. It's going to be too late. It's going to be too late.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. So, yeah, that's what's going on. Hiring illegals to be sworn police officers to basically police American citizens. My Lord, what a freaking mess. How I would be interested to see, they ought to make that guy also take a test to see what he knows of the Constitution or the state statutes in the state of Maine. I'd be interested to see what this guy knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're going to find out. Yeah.
It'll definitely be interesting is, like you said, what he supposaly went through all of this training and everything.
They're not even talking about it. They're not even talking about how
I said, where are all of his scores? Where are all of his test scores? Where are all of his evaluations? Where are all of his performance metrics? Where's that?
Yeah. So now a judge has ordered that he be set free, but he's now to deport himself on his own recognizance.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes. I can't read the article because I'm on a cell phone here in the parking lot of a grocery store. You know what's really funny, dude? Because my phone obviously is tracking me, obviously, right? So as soon as I get in the car, it's Tuesday night, it's already telling me, it's trying to give me directions to the grocery store. this is insane. These phones are nuts.
Hey,
Absolutely
Freedom
nuts.
Freedom just posted. He said Minneapolis made the news again today with over 120 cars vandalized last night in one night. 120 cars vandalized.
Well, welcome to Minneapolis.
It was
In
those
that
Mormons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Minneapolis, and the people are so nice. They like to refer themselves as being so nice up there. Let me tell you what a Minnesota liberal's like. Okay, and here's what a Minnesota liberal's like. They consider themselves to be the same as the blue bloods in the northern east coast of the United States. You know, the Massachusetts crowd, the New York
Yeah.
crowd, the Connecticut crowd, right?
The
And they think
upper
that,
crust, the
yeah,
genteel.
they call themselves nice. They think that they're nice because they're liberals, right? They're the most passive aggressive, not nice. And I hate saying this because not everybody gets paid. I'm talking about the leftists that ruin this state, right? Are the most passive aggressive, cringiest people you'd ever want to deal with. And what's funny is those same blue bloods that they think they're akin to that are in the Northeast look at these people from Minnesota as a bunch of hicks. They're in flyover states,
Yeah.
right? So it's so funny how ignorant the Minnesota liberal is. And it's
I mean, just
disgusting.
self deluded.
Yeah. And because there's a lot of good people in that state that are getting screwed by these people. Right.
Yeah.
And they're going to rue the day they did this, but it's unfortunately it's going to be too late. The state is ruined. It is absolutely ruined. It was such a beautiful place just 15, 20 years ago, dude. It was like paradise, man. And it's gone. It is gone. And it's such a shame. And I know there's other places in the country that are just the same. You know,
Yeah.
every mid-sized city in the state of Minnesota and large city has been taken over by the Somali community. It's almost every one of them, dude. You know, you have mass stabbings going on in strip malls up in St. Cloud. Mankato is a disaster. The towns, even the small towns, Hormel. Okay, you can blame Hormel and the meat packing plants. Jennie-O, Hormel, they're the ones that brought groups of third worlders in for cheap labor and did a deal with the state where the state supplements. We talked about this in other shows, but it's just an absolute shame. And I don't want to pay to everybody. If somebody is here from Somalia and they want to be an American, you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. But there's so many in that community that just hate us and everything and they're here to change us. And I don't want to take that brush and say everybody's that way, because if you have some people that are from Somalia and they want to be American and they're here to be a patriot, God bless you at that stage. And I'm sure there's some out there, right?
Well, Matt, I just got a text message here that reminded me of another Minnesota story that's out there.
What?
Well, the Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders.
Oh boy. Did we talk about this last week?
No, this happened. This came up this week.
This is gross. Do you have the video?
I don't even want to bring it up. I don't even want my Google history to show that search.
Well, there's multiple. It's not just that they have male cheerleaders. They're male cheerleaders pretending they're chicks.
Yes.
It's not the dudes throwing the chicks around. No.
It's the guys doing the dancing around and ass shaking.
Yeah. And the Minnesota Vikings are losing season ticket holders over this. Can you imagine paying all that money for season tickets and then having to sit down there and have some dude shaking his ass in front of your face while you're trying to watch a football game? And now the NFL is starting to go back to this end racism and all of these woke slogans on the sidelines.
Here you go, Matt. Here you go.
Oh my goodness. There's another one that this is one of them. There's two of them.
And see, no, the male cheerleaders should be the ones tossing the girls around, being the not this. This is no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not doing any more of this. I'm good.
Guys, I learned this new deal where I wave my bounce my pom poms, and then
Yeah, I got a text message from a loyal viewer wanting to make sure I brought that to your attention because they were sure you would be a fan.
There's another video that's really flamboyant, and it's
Yeah.
highlighting. Yeah. So
it was probably in that one, but I couldn't stand to watch the rest of it.
I thought it was a joke when it was sent to me. I thought it was a joke.
I did too. Because I was like, this is some BS.
The NFL is really going to do this. Roger Goodell is such a pile of garbage too. What a pile of garbage, you know?
Wow.
So, I mean, are you telling me the demographics that watch football want that? Are you really telling me this? Bullshit.
Yep. The Minnesota Vikings fans have spoken. You need to respect that decision.
Well, it's not just the Minnesota Vikings. Like 11 teams have dude cheerleaders that think they're chicks. I didn't know this.
Apparently it's a thing.
So, yeah. And now they're putting these slogans. You know what the NBA was doing on the sidelines again? They're going to do this.
Somebody, you know how you can short stocks? Somebody shorted the NFL, and they've got money that they're going to make a shit ton of money when they go out of business or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's what they need to. The problem is Americans just can't stay away from football. You know,
right. I've had zero problem staying away from NFL. I haven't watched that since.
But a lot of people can't. A lot of people can't. You know, I've got relatives in my family that, you know, they hate it, but they're going to watch the football game. So, yeah, that's the problem. People need to just turn it off and say, hey, you know, we need to do this in mass and show the NFL we're done.
Bread and circuses, my man. Bread and circuses.
Yeah.
All right.
Dude.
That wraps us up for the evening. You want to give the sign off?
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank everybody for being a patriot. I want to give a shout out and maybe say a prayer for Troy, you know, and his dog. That is so bad. It's something that one of the things you're guaranteed a heartache with a dog. Okay. But, boy, it is one of the roughest things, man, because they're just members of your family. And, you know, shout out to him, prayers to him and his puppy. And thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for taking a part in all of this, in the chat and everything else, bringing us freedom, bringing us more info every week. Freedom is just bringing it. And live in freedom every day, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Again, thank you, Freedom, for doing the midstream fact checks and updates and adding even more context to the stories that we bring up, the details that we didn't see in the stories we found. We appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for participating, and we'll see everyone next week. Thank you.